In this tutorial, I am going to show you how to design high heels in 3D using Blender, so you can also create your dream footwear brand design. Hello beautiful people, my name is Ken Lewis from brandingdesignpro.com. The first part of the shoe tutorial is going to focus on the vamp tip and back counterpart of the shoe. Let's get right into it. To start out, we're gonna hit Shift A and go to Image and Reference Image to bring our reference drawing in. Now, once you've selected that drawing and brought it in, you can hit G and move it up. You can hit Z to keep it on the vertical Z axis. And we're gonna hit S and scale it down. Once you've scaled it down, we're going to then hit Shift A and go to Mesh and select Cube. You're gonna also select the cube, hit S, scale it down. We're gonna hit G, Z, and move it up. And then we're gonna hit the tab. Once you've hit the tab, we're gonna select the opposite side vertices and delete. And then select the plane, go to your modifier section, and then add a mirror modifier to it. Scale it down with G. You can move it around. You should still have it selected, but we're just gonna place it towards the center. Let's see, and S, scale it down a little bit more to where it sort of look like this, and then rotate it. And if you don't know the keyboard shortcut to rotate, it's R. Then place it in the center. Once you've done that, you're going to tab out and then go to the image properties. Select opacity and turn it down to 0.2. That should add some transparency to the actual image reference. We're going to then select our shape and then go to the outline section, select the funnel, and then check the selection tool that will allow us to set that image reference still. Now we're going to go back to our object and then tab, select the edges, extrude down, extrude up, and then start to extrude that side, the three sides out to work on our shape. So I'm just using E as a keyboard shortcut and selecting Shift to select more than one edge together, and S scale. It's gonna be mostly those three keys that we're using to adjust the shapes like this, and then R to rotate the three edges like this. And we're gonna just select the vertices or the vertex. And the way you can do that is by hitting 1. You can alternate between 1, 2, and 3 to select vertices, edges, and the actual polygon shapes, faces I mean. Alright, so let's just work on the shape. We're gonna hit Control R to add an edge loop there. Adjust that. Select the back two edges and then E, extrude up, scale it down, and then we're going to rotate that, scale it down again, rotate that, and then just adjust the vertices. Let's see, and then just work on the form from here. Select G, adjust, and just keep working on that side of the counterpart that is going to be towards the back of the shoe. Just adjust the vertices, and then we'll have pretty much our first basic, I would say somewhat organic shape done. Now once you've done that, we're going to go back and select the vertices up top, go to edge mode, and then E, extrude up, then you're going to select the second one, SZ0, SZ0. That's going to allow it to make flat. Select the top edges, extrude out to the side. We're going to extrude it to fit that shape like an upside down L. Okay, let's see. And then tab out. Select the object. We're going to hide the empty. Let's go back. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna go to tab, rotate to the side, and then just hit GX to widen it a little bit. And then from there, we're gonna now start to select the outer edges. So just shift control, and then that will allow you to be able to select multiple along the edge flow or the overall flow of shape. And then we're gonna hit GX, move that shape to the side, and go back to your modifier and make sure your clipping is on so it can connect. And we're gonna do the same thing, Control Shift, and then go to the face selection mode, and then work on selecting the inner faces to then delete. And we're gonna do the same thing for the top, delete. And if you don't know what the delete keyboard shortcut is, it's the X. We're gonna tab out and then go ahead and go to image reference, go to the top view, bring our image for the top one in, scale that down. We're gonna try to match that up with the side reference, and just adjust that. Let's see, move it. I like to move it. We're gonna do the same thing, add opacity of 0.2, name that sole or bottom of the shoe, whatever you like. And then the second one, we're gonna call it side blueprint or side of shoe. Then we're going to go to the top view and work on the shape using the vertices selection, and then just double G to just shift it or slide it. Just do that, and double G, work on that oval-like top shape. Start to work on the form to where it's less blocky and a bit more sexy. Then we're gonna go to the top view, select the side. Doesn't need to be perfect. Just select the middle of the middle vertices. Hit the proportional edit. You're going to scroll your middle mouse button down to reduce the proportional edit size and just shift it in. And we're going to just adjust the back of the counterpart shape. Let's just adjust the shape going to the top, the side. Let's see, select those vertices and just move it all over. And you can control your or fall off section of like the radius of the proportional edit using the middle mouse to scale it down or up on how much you actually want. So just kind of have to play with that. And it's just turn off the proportional edit and adjust the vertices like that. We're getting there. All right, we're gonna go to solid mode, take a look at it. Yep, tab out. Now we're gonna add a subdivision modifier in the modifier tab. Just change it to 2. We're going to right click and shade smooth. Make sure let's bump it up to 3. There you go. All right, that's good. And then we're going to need to adjust the geometry. So going to edge selection, Control Shift around GG, move that up a little bit, add a control loop there, and then adjust that with G. And then let's see, tab out. Let's hide that side. That's just let's add a solidify modifier to it, and then change it to, actually leave the thickness alone. Just move the solidify above the subdivision modifier, and that should sort of thin it out a little bit. Then we're going to select the front faces of the top and then X delete. Let's see. and tab out. On the side view, we're going to just work on the shape a little bit more since we added the subdivision modifier. Just kind of work on it similar to what I'm doing. If you're following along, it doesn't need to be exactly the way mine is. The whole goal of this is for you to learn to be able to create on your own anyway. So go nuts. But don't go too nuts, because then you'll have to solve your own problems. All right, just adjust the vertices we're gonna work on just G, moving that shape. And depending on what view you're in, like moving the vertices or edges or sides, it may create a very funky object. So like for what I'm doing, I'm using mostly the perspective or orthographic or the side, and then G, X if I want to move it to the X axis, or GY to keep everything somewhat smooth. There you go. The back of our heel is somewhat semi-circular, smooth, so just kind of get it to be a bit more form-fitting. Come back to the top and widen the side. Bring the front parts inward. We're getting there. Kind of look like Magneto's helmet. At least that's what it reminds me of a little bit. Maybe it's just me. All right. Okay, so we're gonna tab out, and then just let's select an edge loop around the side and kind of bring that outward to create a bit more form. And maybe bring that one down a little bit. I'll tab out. Let's see. And then we're going to then go to the front mode. In the subdivision surface, we're gonna turn off the display view and then go ahead and select the faces of the bottom and X delete. Then we're going to go to select a couple of the edges and dissolve 2 of the edges in the back to make our geometry a bit more smooth. There'll be less bumps or no bumps at all towards the back. Let's see, and tab out. Let's look at it. And we're making progress. We're getting there. And we're going to tab in and then select the bottom edges and then ES to kind of scale it. And I'm just alternating between Y, X. And I just ended up settling with Y. And then now I'm going to select the vertices and just hit GX to bring them inward. You might have some overlap, so you might need to get in close. You can select the vertices, hit the period on your right keypad to kind of get close to it with your camera, or scroll out to zoom out, and then just adjust that, bring them inward. Now, once you've done that, you're going to need to rotate it so we can adjust it some more. All right, and then just G, Z, bring them down. Bring that one in, this out, down. Then we're gonna turn our vertex and then viewport mode on the right pad. And then let's see, we're gonna do the same thing, dissolve that edge right there. We're gonna hit Control 7 to go on the bottom view, bottom orthographic view. We're gonna apply the mirror modifier, come back down here and hit Tab, and then go to the edge selection mode, select the edge, hit Shift D, P, right click, and then P, separate by selection. Once you have that, we're going to go ahead and turn off not close it, but turn off the solidify modifier. And that's going to give us this loose edge right here. So if we hide the top part, you'll be able to see it. So we're going to work with this from the top view and completing it and modeling the bottom of the actual sole. From here, you're going to tab, go into edit mode, and hit Control-7 to be on top. Make sure you're on the top view. You're going to select the back vertices, hit E to extrude it forward. And then select the 4 vertices and hit F to fill. Select the opposite side, the 4 on the opposite side, F to fill. Take that middle vertices, extrude it. Actually, let's cut out. I'm thinking we could grid fill this, but we actually can't because we need a couple more vertices. So that's not going to work. So instead of that, we're going to go to the side. You can then move that middle vertices down. And then the next thing that we're going to actually do is extrude that side vertices. So we're going to select that side vertices, or both of them, and then extrude inward. So now we're going to create those 2 new vertices inside. Then select the 4 vertices, fill, 4, fill, and then these last 4 and fill. And then select that last vertice, extrude, and then you know what to do, fill. Select these 4 and fill. So far this is what it's looking like. We didn't really have to adjust the placement or the movement of the vertices. We're going to go to mesh, go to normals, and then recalculate outside. And then that should make sure all our normals are facing the proper direction. Now we're gonna go back to the top. And then we're just going to go to edge mode and then extrude. Let's move that. Select edge mode, extrude. There you go. And just extrude it all the way to the front, and then select that side edge, move it off. There you go. And then we're gonna just work on forming that shape to our drawing the best way possible. And we're gonna go to vertices. So we're gonna be tabbing between vertices and edge selection mode to just work on that shape. And it's looking, just trying to make sure that we have some sort of edge flow going. And just bring that in, adjust that a little bit, and bring that in, bring that in, and that one out, and bring that one down. It helps if you have a paper cutout or even like an actual high hill that you could use as reference, because I'll give you a more accurate model to work with. So from here, we're going to go to side view, select those vertices, make sure you're in X-ray mode. So you can hit Alt-C and then select those edges, move them down. You can use R to rotate on that side to kind of make them flat, and just select these and adjust them like that. There you go. And then from here, we're going to tab out. We're looking good, not too bad, not too bad. And let's see. So from here, let's just make some. I'm gonna select all like the back vertices and hit SZ0 to make sure it's flat. And I imagine there's a little curvature towards the side, but we're not gonna worry about that right now. This is a concept design. But yeah. So this is what the 2 pieces are looking like together so far. We're gonna go ahead and hide that sides blueprint or side guide. Then we're going to work on connecting the two pieces to sort of fill in that gap. And even like thinking about this now, it would have been great to start off with the actual sole first. Then it could just extrude from that sole. That would save us this next part of adjusting and you can say problems or issues that we're facing right now. So now we have to just work with these vertices to get the shape to flow together. Could use the snap tool as well for this, possibly. If we had the same amount of geometry, which I don't believe we do, but there's so many ways you can go ahead about fixing certain things in Blender. It's like a math problem. You can solve it in so many ways. But we're just going to do this and just adjust these bottom edges. Rotate, and then G, Z, or use the move tool if you want to. I always end up using both. It depends on, I guess, how my hands move. I'm gonna bring that outward. You don't want to drag it too far. Let's see. We're getting there. Might need another edge loop. But let's just see if we can do it without the extra edge loop. There you go. Just adjust that. Bring it down a little bit. Bring that one in. Let's rotate. Bring that one out, down. Bring that one out. Bring this one out. Rotate. Oh, we're making progress. This one inward, down. We need a little bit of overlapping. Just enough to where it actually looks connected. There's not so much of a gap in between the sole and the back counter piece. Just adjust these like that. I'm gonna add an edge loop here. Control R. Bring that down. Bring that down. And just adjust these. Let's see, and bring that one. G, Z, G, Z. And just bring that one down. And then just adjust the other side. Rotate, a lot of rotating and vertice tweaking. Gonna add an edge loop and slide it. Actually, hit Control R. Let's bring that back. Let's see if we can add a crease to these actually. So hit the N and go to the main crease, make that 1, and then the bevel weight 1, and then the top. Just you could pause the screen and copy the settings. Just gonna test a few different numbers, alternate between the edges, and do the same thing on that side. 1, 1, and then 0.9, 1. So it's sort of sharpening it. Let's select that whole bottom edge and then apply those settings. All right. If that was too fast, you can pause, go back, pause the screen, and copy the settings if you're following along. And we're just gonna go ahead and adjust these. Let's see. And then we're gonna try to do the same thing up here. sometimes working with the edge details or edge beveling, it could create like certain artifacts. The best option end up being that we actually need to add some dimension to the shape and then bevel it, but just gonna go ahead and let's see, let's hide the subdivision, bring in solidify. And if we take the bevel and change the weight, increase the segments, nothing really happens. So I'm gonna just go ahead and try to change the amount. No, that's not working either. So let me bring it up top. Not much of a difference, actually, it made it worse. So let's bring it back down. And then let's tab out. Hit N to hide the side panel. Go ahead and select that shape. Let's bring the thickness down by adding an extra 0 to, let's do actually 0.005 meters. Make it thinner. And then now, if we isolate it with the /, selecting the shape /, we can set the origin to geometry, and then let's go ahead and Control Shift, select the edge, entire edge of the bottom, and then hit ES to scale, to extrude and scale. How's that looking? That's looking better. We're gonna bring that downward. We have that part that's sticking out. We're gonna need to fix this. So we're gonna go ahead and tab in, select the back two edges and bring them upward. So you can hit G and Z to make life a little easier and moving those edges, having more control. Select that side and GX and then GZ, right click or left click I should say, and then same thing, just adjust these shapes, placement, adjust the edge placement. All right, and from there I'm gonna go to vertices and kind of just adjust that one inward, GX, GY. There you go. So now you're gonna notice that they're like sticking up far above the sole. That's not a problem because no one's really gonna see that close inside of the shoe. We could add an extra edge on top of that, but then that's even more vertices we have to manipulate. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. This is good enough to help us with this presentation that we're putting together. So just gonna go ahead and tab into X-ray mode. So Alt Z, just to kind of see. Then adjust these vertices up, down, sideways. Let's tab back out. And then select the side vertices and GZ. Bring that one down, bring that one up, bring that one up, And this last one. We're getting there. So this is the little details that take a lot of time. Let's see, rotate, bring that one down. And G, Z, bring that one down. And then we can use the transform tool as well. So now we're getting something that's really close to the line. I could probably spend another 10 minutes just tweaking that, but I think that's good. So we're gonna select both pieces and hit the period on the numpad. You can also hit home to center the entire thing. I'm gonna go ahead and shade smooth. And then from here, let's start to select the inner edges. I'm gonna go ahead and hit Control Shift. Make sure you're in edge selection mode. I don't know if that's not obvious by now. And just sort of I'm trying to make those corners sharper, but it's not working. So I'm increasing the bevel weight for the mean. I don't think it's having the effect I wanted to. I wanted to make that corner sharp, but I think the solution is gonna have to be a bevel of the vertices, which is gonna create some polygon errors, but we'll have to fix those as well. Which we'll be able to. So let's go ahead and tab out. Go to your solidify. Let's tab in. I think what we'll have to do, see, sometimes when you increase the bevel weight and the crease all the way to 1, it creates like the weird edge. Although like the crease of the vertex can sharpen it, but it's funky. That is not what I want. You see that? It's look like devil horns in the corner. All right. Okay. What is that? All right. This is where sometimes you have to sort of experiment with the settings, unless I guess you have so many years designing thousands of shoes that you already know exactly how to solve this. But for the sake of a simple solution, let's leave that alone. Let's just tab out. And then we're gonna bring in our side blueprint just to compare. Look at what we've done so far. The bottom and back piece in 34 minutes. Can you believe it's taking 34 minutes to do this? Well, all right, so now let's adjust the top shape. I'm gonna tab and then select both the bottom and top edges and then use that transform tool, or you can hit G and X and move it that way, and tab between the vertices and add some bend to it. There you go. And then same thing here. Look at that. Ooh, those curves are sexy. All right, bring that one in. Look at that. So we're gonna create somewhat of a asymmetrical, not perfectly symmetrical shape, because when you look at the high heels, most of them, like, they kind of thin inwards. I guess it's still somewhat symmetrical, but it's not 100% perfect. So we're gonna select the back vertices, or two back vertex or vertices, and then just bring them upward to add some curve to it, to where it's not just flat. And then tab out. And let's just hide those references. Ah, look at that. From here, go ahead and save. The next shape, we're going to go to side view. Let's just rotate to look to make sure we got everything. Bring that reference in, and we're going to work on that front shape. So we're going to steal some geometry, a technique that I found quite useful from Derek Elliott's amazing sneaker tutorial. And then we're just going to add some edge loops to the top to sharpen that a little bit. Let's see. Let's add an edge loop to this top. I was thinking we could drag it to the top, but it's gonna make the shape weird, so we're just gonna add one to the middle. And then the bevel, crease. I don't think it make that much of a difference, but I'm gonna add a little something there. Again, you could copy the settings that I put. I'm gonna do 0.15 for the crease, so it doesn't create too strong of a artifact. We're gonna go ahead and add a, no, that's not gonna work. So we're gonna add a loop cut to the top, but don't do the one to the side. That works. That works. Okay. And then we're gonna do the same thing down here. Add an edge loop and slide it close to the edge. Rotate, do the same thing for the other side. Because now we don't have a mirror modifier that allows us to just automatically adjust the other side, because now we're working on an asymmetrical model. It's a little pointy towards the front right here, but that can be adjusted and corrected. So let's just move on to the next really important part. We're going to go to face selection mode, select that side panel, Shift D, P to separate it, tab out, and then we're gonna go ahead and select that piece and tab in. Let's go ahead and hide that bevel, hide all the modifiers really, except for the solidify. Add a mirror modifier to that side, because now we're gonna want that one on the opposite side for what we're gonna do next. Let's go ahead and select that panel or that shape, G, bring it forward. Gonna hit R, rotate it, move it down, and then select the edge, go to edge selection, select the edge, hide, turn off the solidify. Let's see, let's turn off all these item settings. Zoom in with period, move that over. Yeah, we're in the center because we're gonna extrude out the edges. Let's move the vertices. All right. And select the edge, bring it back. Select the edge, extrude. And when I said bring it back, I meant extrude, but yep, okay. Select these top two edges, three out edges, and extrude upward, extrude. Select that, I'll move it, and we're gonna start to form fit that side perspective, side drawing. Let's go ahead and adjust these like that, like that. Bring this up, bring this in a little bit more, bring this downward on a nice edge flow. Bring this down, and then this one down. Ta-ta. Bring this one up. And we're gonna add another edge loop for some more vertices and subdivision. And then from here, I'm gonna go ahead to the edge selection mode, and then select that front edge, and let's see, go to the side, bring the mirror modifier up, make sure your clipping is turned on, and hit EX to extrude it all the way, and select the other edge, and go ahead and GX, add another one, add another edge loop, and GG to slide it. And let's rotate. It's looking like the front of a spaceship right now, or I don't know, looking at the front of something. We're gonna go ahead and actually dissolve that edge, or hit Control Z, and then we're gonna take that one and just slide it, GG, and slide it, and then start to adjust the vertices one by one to form fit that front part of the sole to make our tip and vamp area. Ta-da. We're getting somewhere. Let's go ahead and select these edges and bring them out. G, bring them out. And from here, let's apply our mirror modifier, turn on solidify and subdivision, hide that side blueprint or side reference, and look at that. Let's adjust the shape, and then tab and start to adjust the vertices. And since we're doing this, we're only affecting one side right now, and that's really what we want because we have the mirror modifier turned off. So we need to work on that front shape on both sides manually. Let's just go ahead and work to make that as close to possible, close to that shape possible, and then rotate to the other side, or hit the Control 3 to go to the left side, and then we're going to work mostly off of the vertices at this point, and that's just until we can get that front tip vamp shape to match that sole. Just continue to tweak it until you get it right, which is what I am going to be doing here. I am going to speed up this part a little bit because it's just going to be adjustment of like the movement of the vertices. Alright, so I'm going to select the edge and GG to slide. Select that, the top three edges, GG to slide. And look at that, we're creating a bit more depth, more organic shape. Same thing on that side, just select the top three edges. And then GG to slide. We're getting there. And then with this last one, we're just going to go ahead and adjust the manual vertices to bring them inward to add some curviness to it. Bring this one down. And look at that. Still blocky. So we're going to need to select the top edges You can hit Control Shift and select all of them, or you can go to Edge Selection and just scale it in and move it down. Actually, let's leave it the way it was. Let's bring it back up. Do the same thing down here. Select the edges, and then let's go to the front view, and then S scale. And then last one, let's select the bottom one, S to scale. And now we're getting closer to an actual form-fitted front tip. Another thing that would help is if I had an actual foot to model from. I haven't quite gotten into sculpting yet, so don't know how to model a person's feet, but so I'm gonna just do this without it for now. And then go ahead and just add an edge loop, slide to the sides. We're gonna go to vertices or vertex mode, and then make sure you have both of them selected, and just kind of, in order to be able to move them together. If not, you're gonna have more problems to deal with. Let's bring this one inward, down. Oh, actually, let's see. Let's bring this one back. I think I'm gonna need more geometry. Let's just go ahead and work with this for now before I add any more edge loops and make life a little harder. But I guess now's the time. So let's go ahead and add the edge loop. Slide that in and just tweak it. Have to do a lot of rotating, a lot of moving around, and then up, down, side. Let's bring this one back and out. With that, we're getting a lot closer. Let's bring that one inward. It's okay if we have a little edge, because an actual shoe, that's how it would be actually. Would have a little bit of edge. Okay, let's bring the thickness down to 0.003 meters. So, and do the same thing for this side. Let's bring it up. Set an edge loop now. Bring this one back. And this one inward. Front, inward. Oh, it's looking all right. Let's just I've heard this before and I didn't believe it, but you could literally spend hours just doing things like this in a model because you want it to be so perfect. But you can strive for perfection. You should strive for perfection, but you have to get things done. And if you're so stuck on the minute details, like, you'll literally never get anything done. And that's in drawing or even 3D modeling. So now let's go ahead and adjust the top. I want the edge flow to flow a little bit better than it currently is. So I'm just going to head and bring these inward, push them back. And then that'll give me a little bit more centered, aligned vertices. Let's just place that right there. So now the edge flow of the actual front tip sort of flows and make a lot more sense. And this is what we've done so far. All right, I'm gonna select this. So this next part is going to be the actual heel part. Um, and I'm gonna save the file. Let's zoom in. Let's see. I'm gonna hide. No, just like this. Let's select these vertices. Let's go to X-ray mode and select both of them from both sides and bring this downward, because I just realized it was a bit high. I'll just modify the shape a little bit more. This is the fun thing about working on 3D versus just creating a flat drawing like I did initially. I don't have to think so hard about how the shape would look in perspective or 3 dimension. I could always imagine it in my head, but until you get into a software like this where you're actually doing it, you don't realize how much calculation that needs to be done, and movement really. So okay, let's go back into tab mode, and we're gonna select that front side and then shift D, select P to separate it, and we're gonna go ahead and G, tab out, hit G and bring it upward. And then we're going to set the origin to geometry through the top menu, object menu, and then we scale it in, bring it down, and let's hit the period to focus on it, and then move it back, scale it to the y-axis a little bit, and then scale it overall and to the y-axis a little bit. Then we're gonna isolate it. Actually, no, let's go back. We're going to hide that front tip and then just focus on this. So tab Alt Z into X-ray mode, and then let's start working on aligning it out to the next part of the front tip the best we possibly can. If you don't know how to draw, it might be hard to create shoes like this, because I think the reference helps significantly. If you're just trying to do this off the cuff, you do need a reference, whether it's an image, photograph, whatever it is. It helps to have a front, top, side, or even bottom or back view, because it just helps you process it mentally. All right, so we're gonna rotate to the other side. Thankfully, I've been drawing since I was 4 years old, and I've never stopped, and it's proving to be very useful. Drawing is very useful. All right, I'm gonna adjust these vertices. And then, look at that, we're getting there. Let's add, let's take the edge and then GG's to slide it back to where it's a bit more smooth. And let's hide the blueprints or the reference images. Now look, there's this big gap between those two front pieces, right? So how are we gonna fix this? We're gonna go ahead and tab into that, select the bottom edge, and then just scale that part until it kind of touches into the front part, and then G, Y, bring it forward, and you're gonna just select them individually and kind of just tweak them. Actually, it doesn't show, it doesn't pop out of the actual front, so we're gonna leave that alone. If it does, I would recommend adjusting it to the inner part of the shoe, but let's see. I'm gonna select that and add an edge loop and then just slide it all the way to the top. And then let's also add one towards the bottom. There you go. And then we're going to select the vertices and bring them in. Might have selected some of the other ones from the other side. Let's rotate to see. Yeah, but it's okay, so it's good. All right. Now, to complete the back part of the shoe, that heel portion of it, we're going to, again, copy some of the geometry, but we're going to do it from the bottom. Let's just adjust that a little bit. Oh, I'll leave that alone. Then let's go to rotate it a little bit. Select that bottom sole, go to face selection mode. Select the 4 faces towards the end. Actually, I selected the 2. Let's go back, Control Z. Select the 4, and then turn on all of the vertices and geometry parameters and subdivision. Then Shift D and P to separate it. Once you've done that, you can turn those off. Actually, leave them on. Let's turn on the cage and geometry or vertex geometry on for solidify. Then we're gonna go ahead and turn off these 2 options on solidify and subdivision. And then E, S to scale, E, and G to move it. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's go back. Let's go to E, G, and let's bring it down. Then E, S to scale. Let's hide both the solidify and subdivision. Then E, I don't know what just happened there. What is this? It's so weird. Okay, so let's go back and we're gonna make it flat. So let's go to SZ0, and then now it's flat. We can just GZ, and then do the same thing for these top 2, SZ0, SZ0, to flatten them down on the Z plane, I guess. And then let's just adjust these back vertices and do this in X-ray mode, so you make sure you're able to select the other opposite side as well, and just kind of adjust the breast part of the heel part, and then start to scale them down. And scale this one down. And need one more edge loop, and then left click, scale down, move it a little bit, scale it a little bit more. Add a shade smooth, then turn on subdivision, get rid of solidify. And from here, we're going to need to add let's add an edge loop, and then GG to slide it up. And then we're gonna add another edge loop towards the bottom, slide it all the way down, or close to all the way down to where it's creates a crease enough for an edge. And then let's hide let's hide the side view of the drawing blueprint, and then select that heel. Let's bring it back. So just confirm this, just check the shape. Let's hide it and then hit period to focus on that heel. Then tab, and we're gonna go to Alt Z for X-ray mode and just adjust that shape. And then we're gonna add another edge loop. Make it a bit sharper. That's working. See that side right here? Could adjust that a bit more. Let's just continue to move forward. And we're going to select, let's go to edge selection and then start to select that side edge. But you have to be very careful with the selection because you do have those little tiny edges that you need to select. I think I missed them on this side. And then the last one, there you go. So now once we've done that, we're gonna select the bottom edges as well. And then from here, we're gonna go to Control B to bevel. And open the bevel menu, add 2 segments, take the shape to 1, set the mid outer to arc, and then click out and then tab. And now you have some crisp, sharp breast face shapes. And by the way, I'm saying breast because that's what they call it, not because I'm obsessed with breasts for any reason, for anybody that's wondering. This is what we accomplished today. We will complete the rest of the shoe in the next tutorial, so be sure to hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed this or followed along to know when the second part drops. It's gonna be hot. I'm gonna drop it like it's hot. Alright, until next time.